In a quiet village known as Wavo community, there lived a man who was respected among his people. According to the laws of that community, no man was allowed to marry more than 2 wives. Also, no family was allowed to have more than 2 children. And most importantly, in that land, a female child was not permitted to inherit any property. This law was known by everyone and feared by many. The man in this story had married 2 wives, as the tradition allowed. In time, his first wife gave birth to a girl. Later, his second wife gave birth to a boy. The household was filled with joy, but not everyone fully understood the consequences of what had happened. One evening, the man sat with his wives and spoke to them. "My wives, I hope you both remember the tradition of our land." They looked at each other with curiosity and asked him to explain. He continued, "In this community of Wavo, women are not allowed to inherit property." Then he turned to his first wife. "My dear first wife, since you gave birth to a girl, you still have one more chance. But remember, it is your last chance. You can only give birth to 2 children. If your next child is a boy, he will inherit part of my property." At that moment, fear entered the heart of the first wife. She realized that her future, and her child's future, depended on what would happen next. Driven by fear and desperation, she decided to take action. She went deep into the forest to consult a native doctor known as Baba Nuru. Before she could even speak, Baba Nuru looked at her and said, "Before coming, I already know why you are here." She was surprised and asked him, "Do you know?" He replied calmly, "Yes. You are here because you want a male child." She agreed. Then Baba Nuru spoke again, "If you want a male child, it will come with conditions." He continued, "You must bring a goat to this shrine at the last day of every month. If you fail even once, you will give birth to another girl." The woman listened carefully and said, "I have heard. I will do exactly as you have asked, Baba." She returned home, bought a goat, and at the end of the first month, she delivered it to Baba Nuru. The ritual was performed. Month after month, she continued faithfully. Everything was going according to plan. Then time passed. She became pregnant. She continued the ritual every month, until the 8th month. At that time, her husband told her that they needed to travel to his maternal home for a visit. This created a problem for her. She cannot miss the ritual. So she went to a friend she trusted deeply. She explained everything to her and said, "Please, help me take the goat to Baba Nuru at the end of this month. When I return, I will handle the final one." Her friend agreed, but after she left, the friend faced her own problems. Her children were sick, and she had no money. Instead of delivering the goat, she took it to the market and sold it for money. She used the money to solve her problems. Days later, the first wife returned from a journey. Without wasting time, she went straight to Baba Nuru. She asked him, "Was the goat delivered this month?" Baba Nuru looked at her and said, "No, I have not received any goat." Fear gripped her heart. Immediately, she ran to her friend's house. There, she found them eating and drinking, living comfortably. She called her friend outside and asked, "Did you deliver the goat to Baba Nuru, as I told you?" Her friend lowered her head and said, "I am sorry. We had financial problems. We sold the goat." Anger filled her. She slapped her friend and shouted, "Why would you do this? I told you the reason for that goat. Do you know the consequences?" Her friend begged, "I am sorry. There must be another way." Both of them ran quickly to Baba Nuru's shrine. They asked him if there was any solution. But Baba Nuru said, "No. The consequence remains. You will give birth to another girl." There was nothing she could do. She returned home with fear and regret. Time passed. The 9th month came, and she gave birth to another girl. At that moment, her fears became reality. She knew what it meant. Her daughters would inherit nothing. Her future was gone. Slowly, her thoughts began to change. Desperation turned into anger. Anger turned into something darker. Then she made a terrible decision. She looked at the only boy in the house, the son of the second wife, and in her heart she decided that if that boy was not alive, everything would change, and that was the moment. A deadly plan was born.